Today is April 20th, 2015, and I'm really excited because I finally have my first apartment, and it's at a place that is just awesome. Um, and I just wanted to show you guys and kind of just walk out and kind of show you what I've been up to lately. Here's my pagan altar. If you can see, and I've got, of course, it's covered right now, as typically you, as a pagan, you keep your altar covered for people who are mundane, or as in Harry Potter they say they're muggles, so non-magic folk. Yeah, so I've got a really awesome setup here. It's not completely organized yet, but overall I've been really happy with it. So I've got a couch set up here, and then on the other side I've got my iMac, so I can watch movies and whatnot, and of course make all my YouTube videos. And yeah, this is my kitchen. I mean, it's a little bit disheveled right now as I'm organizing boxes and whatnot. Obviously I don't have a ton of light in here because I woke up a little bit ago. And yeah, so it's exciting. And of course this is my bedroom. The whole place is quite extensive, quite large. I've been happy with the space, and I'm looking at having a friend interior decorate the apartment. I've got 2 large closets as well, and of course this is my bathroom. So currently I've got a 3-month lease. Of course I got a gajillion products and whatnot, but I have a 3-month lease here, and then of course I'll be moving to LA, which I'm very thrilled about. And then of course I wanted to show you a bit of the amenities. However, it's a bit of a distance as far as the view goes, and so I'll probably describe it, and then of course when I'm at the pool I can show you guys more. And it's just beautiful. It's a lot of water energy here, a lot of healing goddess magic that can be used. It's just stunning. If you take a look at the fountain, and of course the stream. Over here you've got the clubhouse and the pool. And inside there is, if I can get a little bit higher of an angle, you can see the pool is down there. And hot tub. The hot tub is inside, and the pool is heated, which is really awesome in the colder months. As there is 4 seasons here. In the colder months, it's nice to have a heated pool. And then of course there's an interior hot tub. It's semi-interior. It's in a bit of an overhang, but you can see there's beautiful birds flying around, and because there was so much water energy here, I felt like I should do healing magic. So my altar, it's not completely set up yet, but it's set up enough with like mostly everything that I would need. And of course I am constantly updating, changing, modifying my altar. So I wanted to show you a few things. I'm a knight in the Order of Thorns, and of course this is my armor that I use. So I don't just do healing magic. I view myself as a healer slash warrior slash lover and artist. So typically I associate my masculinity with being a warrior. I have armor, and of course I have multiple weapons, and my armor is in my car. That's an important thing for a pagan, is to be in touch with masculinity, in touch with those sides of himself, and not to be ashamed of anything that's masculine. Right now I have facial hair coming in because the guy that I'm dating, Russell, at this time, he prefers more facial and body hair, and of course he has more himself, and it's really attractive. But I'm equally attracted to people who are clean shaven and whatnot as well. And for me, having a beard is a new thing, but it's coming in nicely and full. I haven't trimmed it up too much. It's more of a rugged look. Um, Going over here to my altar, I of course showed you a previous video of my altar, but it's constantly changing and being updated. I had that blue cloth covering it, which symbolizes the goddess or healing energy, and then right here I have a wand. It's simply a tree branch that I asked for permission for this branch to be taken. It used to be covered with flowers, and I pulled that from up on the highest mountain that I could find here near Salt Lake City. And of course, you can use anything for a wand, really, and then of course you can carve runes in it, add crystals and whatnot, but you can heal people with something like this. I also have a beautiful crystal that I recently purchased that I haven't put in my altar yet. It was so expensive that I felt like I wanted to make sure I could trust the people I'm having come into my home. And this right here is my sanctum sanctorium, and that just means sacred place or magical working place. I have another altar in my bedroom, and I want to have an altar representing all four seasons in all four corners of the house. This right here is the east corner, and being a fire sign, I thought it appropriate to set up my altar in the east corner of the house. So using my iPhone, I looked at the compass feature and saw where exactly to calibrate specific parts of my apartment. So this, of course, is where I keep all of my extra magical things. It's just, just a basic thing. It's got all sorts of tarot card decks and just a bunch of things that I might not be using currently but might need access to in the future. Over here you've got a few things. I've got a healing oil, which is almost out, which I picked up at a really awesome place, Lady of the Lake in California, which I love that occult store. It's fantastic. It's up in I believe Temecula, California. And then of course I've got the lotus, and of course I've lit tea candles in there when I didn't have the ability to really light larger candles. Right here, of course, is my tower candle, and that symbolizes fire energy. Additionally, I have my two angels, symbolizing angel of death. You can see it's more haggard than the angel of life and protection. So we've got a destroying angel to protect from outside energies or forces that could be coming in from this room. Additionally, I protected the entire place using runes that I've found so far are good for protection. And then of course, pentagrams and other things like that, protecting all of the quadrants of the house, the floor and ceiling included. Being an apartment, I walked in here and there was a very, very positive energy, and having the infinity sign and two C's that match, I think that helped create a feeling of unity. And of course, being in a versatile relationship, it's a really beautiful thing because either person can instigate, and it's almost like we're playing a game where one person is the dominator and the other one's dominated, and it's just a beautiful part of who I am sexually. And of course, so that being a primary focus of mine until maybe like age 35 or maybe longer, but of course I've got this male figure right here, if you can see, and of course it's a beautiful picture that was a gift, and then of course I have my let's just back out a little bit. Yeah, so right there you've got the goddess chalice. So on the right hand side I have the goddess. And then on the left hand side I've got my smudging stick, which has its prosperity, so it has lavender as well as sage. So you burn that, and then of course the lavender acts as draws in positive energy, and then of course the sage cleanses space. And additionally I have this beautiful sound, so when any negativity enters the apartment, usually it's automatically sucked out. I don't use this as much, but like right before I do any kind of like reading, it's important to make it clear, to cleanse space. This, of course, symbolizes steadfastness. It was a gift from my parents, so I use this to symbolize my ancestors, and it's beautiful. And then this, of course, is what I use to connect with my Grandma Fran, who loved seashells, and I love talking to her. I haven't talked to her in a little while, though. This prosperity incense is one that I picked up from a occult store, and there was a specific spell, and I used that as well as this prosperity oil, and which I put on my citrine crystal, and that draws in abundance and wealth into my life. And I think that this apartment is in large part due to all of the spells that I did and the generosity of other people to draw abundance and blessings into my life. Now, any black-handled knife can be used as a tool to like banish negativity. So I've got two kunai knives, which are similar to Naruto's knives, and those I currently am using. I've got other knives, of course, but they are packed away, and so any black-handled knife will do for that. This right here is a scrying ball. It's black. It's typically used for more wolf magic. As you can see, it's completely like a black crystal here. And that is just used to, I haven't used it yet, but it's for deep meditation and more like fire magic. So you would light a candle and meditate in a room for like an hour, and then you would look into the flame that would be for the inside the ball, and you would see like visions and things of the future, and so that's an exciting thing that I haven't done yet that I'm looking forward to. Additionally, I've got my wizard tarot deck, because being a wizard, it's really an excellent deck with really beautiful cards. And of course I have my Eagle Scout medallion, because that reminds me of of accomplishments I've done, and I think that anything that can inspire you to be better, to inspire you to what you've previously accomplished, so that it amplifies your magical things. You're like, wow, I accomplished this. That boosts your magic, as well as runes, and reading the rune book, which of course is my primary focus right now, is the Nordic tradition and Asatru. And then you've got over here, you've got the green man, symbolizing nature. So I've got a lot of primal, masculine iconography. And then over here we have my lighter, because that's essential to have a really beautiful lighter that it can be anything really. So I have this lighter here, and of course I have another lighter, which is a wolf lighter, and that wolf lighter symbolizes my wolf spirit. This symbolizes more my spirit, being a tiger, and I'm a fire tiger in the Chinese zodiac. So that's basically the current setup. So you've got, of course, crystals, herbs, lighter, chalice to represent the goddess, and then, of course, my healing wand, and then, of course, the knives to banish negativity and to cut cords from people that are troubling you. And then, of course, this is my my prosperity spell. And you can see runes are on all four sides, and that really helps boost things to ignite and to powerfully aid you in those times. Now, in the four corners of my home, I have placed these crystals. Now, this crystal, if you can see, is a selenite that brings in peaceful, calming energy. It's really a beautiful stone, and then on the outside you have jet and kyanite. Now, jet sucks in negativity and it holds it like a reservoir, and then kyanite transmutes negativity into positivity. So you've got any negativity, any negative energy that happens here will automatically be funneled in to anything that isn't, will be pulled out by the jet, and then that kind of will transmute it into positive energy. So it's really wonderful because I don't have to do quite as many cleansing rituals just because it's already a really cleansed place. The other awesome thing about this apartment is you've got wind coming in from, of course, the lake here, and with all the trees and the positive oxygen and whatnot, and then you've got all that, and then you've got a lot of earth-based grounding energy out there with the trees and the green man, and then you've got the cleansing, flowing air from the water and that moisture coming in through the windows, and that is really great because it's good. And then like over here I've got my dinner table. So yeah, my dinner table's outside, and out here I've got an incense burner and a little candle, and of course I can do stuff out here as well. And then of course over here I've got a bit of something to, I don't know if you can see, to guard against the evil eye, pack of runes. It's blue, it's really cool. It's like more for protection, for healing and whatnot. So it's a cool crystal, and I use that to protect this particular area. And of course I've used some of my favorite essential oils to guard and protect. You know, I use energy-based oils like peppermint is really good. Of course, like clove could burn things. Salt's good in a way, as long as you create barriers for the salt, because you don't want to dispel. If you're going to be doing spell work, you don't want to trap in the negative energy or the energy and not let it get out. Salt's really good if you want to keep a place completely cleansed, making sure that nothing can enter. But if you have enough positive crystals and energy, then that's good. So I've got water in the far corner. I've got the bath, and so that creates water. And then I also, in this corner, I've placed my tea kettle. And so that it brings water into that corner of the house. And then, of course, in the bedroom, the air just comes in. So I just consider that water energy from this entire area of the house. However, I'm probably going to I might throw in a little fountain in here too. So you've got like really distinct healing energy. Of course, on the door, I've got lapis lazuli connected with agate. And that's more to bring in, it's just a masculine, more sexual stone, and then it creates a guard or ward as well, because I've used it for that in the past, and also for hexing. Hexing in the sense like, if negative energy comes at me, a hex will return, not as I'm hexing a person in a specific way. So it's just like an automatic reaction of masculinity, and then of course the lapis lazuli is tied to it. So that way that also symbolizes the goddess, and so you've got both of those warding off negativity. Then of course up here I've got shells because I'm more of a sea spirit. I love the ocean, and as you can see, I've got beautiful shells up there. I try to stay really unique, because that's the way I see myself. I try to keep my magic very pure, and I think like everyone who practices magic should have a sanctum sanctorum where they feel safe. The only recommendation I would have, if you practice magic and you are in a place that you don't have your own place, you don't know the rules, or you are with your parents specifically, or you're in a roommate situation, just anywhere where you just will not have as much privacy, my number one recommendation is to go out in nature, find a place out there to practice your spell work, to protect yourself. Now if it's winter, you have to stay inside, keep your whole altar extremely small if you're going to be using an altar. You can also, of course, use, like, it's not that hard to just, it's not that hard, if you have your own altar, to keep it small and to keep it in a little pouch, with just maybe like a little tea candle to represent the god, a little lighter, a little bit of sage. You basically don't need a lot of things to practice magic, but try to keep it nondescript. You could also have just a knife, so a black-handled knife. You could have a small one of those, if it's possible and safe to do so. Yeah, and like try to keep your, if you do have a tarot deck or you have some sort of divination system, keep that hidden as well. So basically only practice magic while you're practicing it. Don't leave your altar visible. That was a big thing that I didn't consider when I was living in other places, is that people get freaked out by magic, and for good reason. There's a lot of power there. But the thing is like, I think that the smartest thing for anyone to do if they're going to practice magic is to recognize that people are going to be uneducated about it. Even if you are a good wizard, and you have good intentions, people are not going to accept it very readily. The smartest thing you can do is keep that hidden about yourself. Stay in the broom closet, as they say, unless you're going to be associating with other pagans. Even people who wear pentagrams are not necessarily pagan. It could be a symbol of rebellion that they're using. It's important to go to places where there are other pagans that are very adamant about their religion, because those are the types of people who are actively practicing that you can feel safe with. Because it's not a bad thing to be friends with a wizard. It's a great thing. They can do spells for you. The thing that you have to realize is that it takes a lot of time and effort to be a wizard, a lot of intelligence, a lot of research, and despite all of that, the wizard is still going to have his own ideology and way of looking at magic, and everyone has their own specific way. The nice thing about paganism is it's very creative, and so a lot of people can practice it as long as they find somebody they trust to educate them. Now the thing is I was self-educated. I had to study a lot of books. I couldn't find a master, so to speak. And finally in California I found a few witches who I really respected, and one of them, and I believe, yeah, she was Wiccan, and she pulled a lot from Native Americanism, and she helped me get in touch with the elements and to understand their power. And I did some labyrinth walks, and I found a lot of really beautiful people who practice paganism, a handful of darker practitioners as well that I came in contact with. But the truth is you'll know. Just trust your instincts, trust your gut. Like if you find somebody who's gonna like be full of joy, or have an ideology where they're trying to help others, that's the type of wizard or magic practitioner that you want to be associating with if you want to stay happy. Because if you start messing with the darker side of things, from what I've heard, it doesn't end well. I've heard a lot of stories about things that were less than optimal, and I'll cover that in another video. But stay in the light side of things. Find places to live that inspire you, that help you be connected with nature. And in that way, you're going to be much more apt to be able to practice magic, because you'll be in tune with nature. Go on hikes up in the mountains if you have that. Go out wherever you are and find a place that you consider sacred and private, and practice as a solitary practitioner. Once you get in a relationship with somebody, make sure that that person can also practice magic with you, because if they can't, they may not be the right one for you. I haven't seen the person I'm dating practice magic yet, and so I'm semi-concerned, but he does have a tattoo of a pentagram tattooed on his shoulder. So I think like it's very important to explain to people that your religion is very important to you, and if you consider yourself of your own belief, whether it's Christo-Pagan, metaphysical, any of those sorts of things. I think some people associate as Christo-Pagan because they're not quite ready to be pagan, and other times it's because they just want to be associated with the right-handed path, which is the light-based path. The left-handed path tends to be associated more with self-serving things. The gray, if you're a gray wizard, then you see the optimal usages of both. but you're judicious in where you use those things. The left-handed path is strictly practical magic. A lot of times it's more self-serving, and then of course, yeah. So, okay, cool. I will definitely make some shorter videos about paganism and starting out, like Paganism 101, and different steps that I wish I had taken or steps that I did take. And I think that that will help you guys have a bit of a shortcut. And yeah, I'm glad to show you my new place, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.